I saw this the other day on a little Facebook reel, something about cognitive dissonance. So I just want you to try this. Can you all do something for me, and that's cross your arms? Just cross your arms. Go on, cross your arms. Go on, cross your arms. Cross your arms, close your eyes, put your arms out in the air like a V, and then just, naturally just cross your arms, right? Now cross your arms. Excellent. Alrighty, look down, and I want you to notice which of your forearms is on top. Is it your left or your right? Which of your forearms is on the left or the right? Which is on the top? Okay. Now what I want you to do is actually put the other arm on top, link in, and I want you to do it the opposite way. And I want you to tell me whether that feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form. Does it? Does it feel a bit weird? It's different. Now, we as human beings, we actually recognize and we pay attention to that which is different. We actually resist it. We go back to what is comfortable and familiar. That's change. Other people do this exercise like this. See, take your hands like this. Woo! And now I want you to put them together like this, and I want you to put your thumb on top. Which thumb's on top? Left or right? Which thumb's on top? All right, now change it. Does that feel even a bit more weird? A bit more like, oh, keep it there. I want you to see how long you can keep it there. That will tell you how comfortable you are with change. Alrighty, so some people call that cognitive dissonance. We actually reject or resist that which we don't feel familiar or comfortable with. So what does Positive Prime do? Positive Prime makes the new, refreshing and different more familiar to you, so there is less cognitive dissonance. Do you want to know how? Do you want to know why? Yeah? Alrighty. So let me just do a little quick screen share for you, because I think that you'll get this, right? Hands were actually worse for me. Do you know, I learned, of course, that thing about crossing your arms a long time ago. Guess what I've trained myself to do over the years, and that is actually switch it up every now and again. Actually switch it up, force myself to physically switch it up. Do you know, as an aside, I'm left-handed. That might tell you something. That makes me brilliant. Of course it does. But I'm left-handed, and I have a cardiac pacemaker in my chest. As some of you may know, if you've been in this community for quite a while, you know that I had 6 near-death experiences where my heart completely flatlined. I was completely unconscious. I had some very, very, very disruptive, damaging falls, really hurt myself. And now I have a cardiac pacemaker and I'm perfect. And there was nothing wrong with my heart. They put me in a cardiac MRI machine. They knew that there was nothing wrong with my heart. I have some very weird, strange, unique, oh yes, I'm very special, unique autonomic nervous system disorder that is neurological in nature. And there's a gazillion other things that are consequences and implications that I live with, but that's okay because I positively prime myself. Anyway, the funny thing is that my cardiac pacemaker is in my left side and I'm left-handed. And so it's a permanent disability. I love playing golf and I loved playing tennis, but they're all past tense because I can now no longer do either one of those 2 things, or indeed lots of other things. But when I had my pacemaker surgery about 2 years ago, me using my right hand to brush my teeth, or my right hand to try and do things, or my right hand to actually pour myself a cup of tea, because of course, you know, you're not allowed to use this while the leads are anchoring into your heart muscle, which is a altogether weird concept for you to come to terms with. Anyway, so I actually was kind of forced to really appreciate how left dominant I am. And over the last 2 years, I have honestly tried to just do a few more things like butter my bread or cut something with my right hand. And I've got to tell you, I'm relatively useless, but I know it's good for brain training actually. So anyway, let's go back to these featured sessions. How do we reduce cognitive dissonance? Well, this is a brand new session. I absolutely love it. Do you know, I often talk about this. All of us have forgiveness work to do. If you are alive on this planet and you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or 70s, you have forgiveness work to do. How do we familiarize? How do we actually reduce cognitive dissonance? Guess what we do? We personalize sessions. See, when you see a photograph, by the way, this is me, don't I look fabulous? This was me last weekend. I went to a lovely event. This is my beautiful auntie. I took her some flowers. I went to visit her. I went and stayed at somewhere really lovely. Oh, I love flowers. Actually, I love buying them for myself. I just read this biography by Ronnie Calm. It's fantastic. She actually started an organization called Ozfest. This is a bracelet that somebody purchased for me and gave me as a gift. And it reminds me that I'm gifted. No, that I am precious enough to be given gifts. And what does that put out into the quantum field? that I deserve more gifts. This is a photograph of my pussycat. This is a photograph of where I'm going on vacation very soon with my niece in Bali. This is my gorgeous Cameron, and this is us together. Okay, so you get the idea, meaningful and significant. I could upload further photographs, and now I play the session. So guess what happens when I play this session? The formula positively primes us. Let me just turn the music off here, and I go full screen if I want to, and I go faster. The faster I go, the less I can resist or reject the information. But every single time my other than consciousness sees one of my own photographs, guess what happens? Emotional contagion, a bridge or a link, a neural network is created from me and my identity with this content, right? Did you hear that? It's genius, isn't it? I know, I invented it. Gosh, that sounds arrogant, doesn't it? You're all supposed to laugh. I was trying to be funny. I literally was gifted with the insights to create Positive Prime from my connection to the divine. No, I do not believe that I am smarter than you. I believe that God chose me because I'm tenacious, because he knew I wouldn't give up on creating this platform for you and the world. And interestingly enough, the resources were put in my path. I met the people who actually taught me what was going to be necessary to make sure that this particular intervention works in terms of brain dynamics, right? So when we see images of Duchenne smiles, that's genuine, sincere, real smiles, in eye tracking research, we've just completed, guess what your brain searches for? Your brain searches for survival reasons. Who's going to help you in the tribe? And you know how you identify them? By their warm, genuine smiles, by their smiles. If their smiles are just wholesome and good and make you feel like you can trust them and like them, you literally sort your entire environment for people who can support your survival. You look for Duchenne smiles, and it literally allows you to be in a state. We call this a positively primed state. The brain on positive, as my friend Sean Acor says, makes you at least 34% more productive. It helps you to perform at high levels. It actually reduces your stress. All of this is scientifically validated, by the way. But interestingly enough, Positive Prime literally integrates a lot of these concepts and brings them to life for you in something that works within 3 minutes. All you have to do is press play every day, preferably at the beginning of the day, and you positively prime your brain for up to 6 to 8 hours. And in a positively primed state of beingness, you are more solutions orientated. But if you want to address an area where you are stuck and you want dramatic, transformative change to happen in your life, you need to actually reduce the cognitive dissonance in your life, which means you must personalize your Positive Prime sessions. It's not enough for you to consume new content. You will resist it and you will reject it unless you familiarize yourself with it. And the easiest, most graceful way for you to do that is to personalize the Positive Prime sessions. And in an absolutely wild and wonderful way, your brain allows you to absorb the new content. It allows it in, and it literally then helps to mold your identity.